Earlier today, I was working on something for my business, kind of in this new year business planning mode. I was working on something for my business that doesn't show up on an org chart, it doesn't show up on a P&L, but impacts both. The thing that I was working on this morning was my personal development plan for this year. So, not just goals, but who I surround myself with. Who am I going to learn from this year? So that can include things. So for me, it looks like a business coach. It looks like participating in a mastermind. It looks like a therapist, personal trainer, my speaking coach, all of these things. How are you going to level yourself up this year? Because every season that I've grown the most as a business owner, I didn't do it alone, right? And all the business owners that I know I shared in a post on LinkedIn that Matt Jarvis had shared with me at one point that he spends over $100,000 a year on growing his personal development. And while I am not there yet, I am building out a plan and building out a budget for the year on how I'm going to actually invest in myself and my business. So as I look ahead to next year, here's the questions that I'm asking myself. I'm asking myself, number one, who do I need to learn from? Who has the type of business that I want to have? Who has the knowledge that I want to have? Who is one step ahead of me that I could learn from? Number two, where do I need to be stretched? What are the uncomfortable parts? And often it's that part of you that you're like that you don't enjoy. Random example, but I do a workout program called Spanka. So it's a gym where you cycle, you spin, you do strength training, and then you do yoga. And when I started, the part that I liked the least was the yoga part. Number one, I'm not good at slowing down. Number two, I've always been really flexible, but it was never something that I had to work at until I was in my 40s. And I found that I did not like the yoga part. And I realized that that was probably because it was the hardest for me and probably the thing that I actually needed the most to slow down, to stretch, to work on mobility and flexibility as I got older because it wasn't coming naturally to me anymore. So, who do I need to learn from? Where do I need to be stretched? And what version of myself does the next season require? So I love asking myself these three questions because who do I want to be? What do I want my business to look like? What do I want my personal life to look like? And then the engineer in me, for those of you that don't know, I went to school for engineering physics. So the engineer in me says, okay, what is the outcome that I want to have? Who is it that I want to be? What do I want my relationships to look like? What do I want my business to look like? What do I want my physical and mental and spiritual health to look like? And then what do I need to do now? What does that version of Libby require of this version of Libby to actually start doing? And so there's a couple of different ways that we can think about implementing a personal development plan. So I've shared with you before the idea of a slingshot day, where on the first of the month, you literally pick one small thing that you're going to do. So if by the end of the month, if you want to read a book, then you're going to need to start reading 10 pages a day. You can pick one small thing that you can change now that the version of you in 30 days will be so proud that you did. So if you want to start losing weight. Great. Go for a walk every day. Start it now. Like, what is one small thing that today's version of you can do to make the 30-day out version of you proud? So, as I'm looking out for the whole year, looking at what are the changes that I want to make, what is required of me right now. So, you could start really, really small if you're new to the personal development space. It could be, by the end of this month, I want to make a list of all of the personal development books that I would like to read and then map them out per month. It could look like I want to invest in a coaching program, or I need to start seeing a therapist, or I'm going to invest in now that the gym rush at the beginning of the year is over and everybody has not made it to Quitters Friday. Now I'm going to hire a personal trainer and just get that on the calendar and commit to doing that. Or I'm going to start a meal delivery service so that we can start eating healthier around here and making that a little bit easier. Whatever it is you need to do, what is your personal development plan? So for me, I've talked before with you guys about how we do three goals per quarter for the business and no more. And you can go back and watch the videos on that and the rationale behind having kind of three rocks for each 90-day sprint. And doubling down our focus on just those three things actually allows us to move forward and get them accomplished. I do the same thing for my personal life, and I map out what are my personal goals. And one of them each quarter is going to be a personal development goal. How do I actually grow myself into the version of Libby that I would like to be at the end of 2026? So, as you're mapping out the year and you're building out your marketing calendar and you're starting to map out your revenue goals for the business, or maybe you're using our four unconventional KPIs for productivity, whatever you're mapping out, I would implore you to include a personal development plan. So, this is your call to action for today. Sit down and think of the version of you you'd like to be at the end of the year. What do you want your physical health to look like? What do you want your spiritual health to look like? What do you want your emotional and mental health to look like? What do you want your relationships to look like? How do you want your home to feel? What do you want your calendar to look like? What do you want to feel at the end of the year? What would December 31st, 2025 or 2026 version of you be so proud that January 16th version of you started today? And this is true for business development, this is true for personal development, but start thinking about our goals a little bit differently, because it's not all about the numbers and it's not all about, as much as I'd love it to be, building out systems and processes. However, if your goal is to have a better client experience or to do something like, yes, I would actually encourage you to check out our first 100 days course. Now, while we've already locked down and started our January round of the group coaching program, the first 100 days course is a DIY program that you can do at your own leisure. It's approximately five, depending if you do all the bonuses or not, it's about 5 to 6 hours of content that you can work through to help you build out a better client experience for your onboarding process. So check that out. But it could be something like that. It could be something even a lot simpler. It could just literally be getting outside in the sunshine for 20 minutes a day. So today's call, like I said, sit down, map out the version of you that you'd like to be at the end of this year, and set a plan, make it happen, and arrange your calendar in a way that allows you to meet your goals.